to the top. He's going on to the Nexus here as well.
Will they be able to get it? A few more hits. Will this really happen? They save the Nexus.
Maybe one more. It's an 8 for OMG, and that's going to be the game. One auto attack away from winning the game. They have to win here against LMQ. Otherwise, they're out.
Oh my gosh! The triple kill coming in from Reckless. They just clean up the fight completely.
Shambles over the wall. Reckless comes in. He gets the pentakill.
From tears to cheers, Reckless comes up with a pentakill.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final day of the Singapore group stage of the 2014 League of Legends World Championship. Today's matches are massively important as we find out who will advance to next week's quarterfinals. You see the players on stage just moments ago, LMQ and Cloud9 both arriving together. Looking to be in fairly high spirits, serious look on Elimination's face. Kabum as well, play 2 games today against LCS squads, and they have the opportunity to play Heartbreaker for the West. My name is Trevor Quickshot Henry, and joining me on the analyst desk for our pre- and post-game reports are Peter Double of Ping, Eddie Carey for Counterlogic Gaming. Next up, Neil Prolly Hamad from Complexity, Alberto Crumbs Renhifo Jungler for Team Dignitas, and rounding out the table, Christopher Monte Cristo Michaels, OG and Costa, and analysts. Thank you guys for joining us. Before we get to the games, we do have to discuss the multitude of tiebreaker scenarios that we face as we are entering the final group stage day in Singapore. Group C and D are still very much up for grabs, as not a single team has secured their quarterfinal spots yet. In Group D, Kabum is very much in a position to play spoiler, and the EUNA rivalry may still have a lot to say about which team will advance. Let's talk a little bit about the tiebreaker scenarios. We do have all possibilities locked down and written out. First and foremost, if Samsung Blue win a game, they guarantee themselves a spot in the quarters. If Fnatic want any shot at making it to playoffs, they have to win. Group D on the other side, you've got a multitude of tiebreaker scenarios, but Naj and White Shield with the highest number of possibilities of making it to playoffs. I've ranted enough. Double Lift, talk to me about some of the scenarios that you're looking forward to and potential outcomes.
I think the most epic scenario would be a Fnatic LMQ tiebreaker, and there's only one very specific situation in which that would happen, but like, how ridiculous would that be? Fnatic would have such a great story, like kind of coming back from these disappointing losses, and then LMQ, they're like the pride of NA right now, so.
There are so many tiebreakers, I'm just completely terrified of what's going to happen. And I'm literally holding all my predictions right now on purpose because I'm going to jinx whatever I want. So I'm going to keep it in my head and not say it out loud and just pray that I get what I want.
Crumbs?
Now, the one that I really want to see is going to be on Group D. If Cloud9 is to beat Naj and White Shield and both Alliance and Cloud9 win their matches against Kabum, we go into a 3-way tie for first place. Round robin, anything goes. That's exciting.
I agree. That's the one I really want to see as
Yeah.
well. I think it would be super, super fun to see all of these teams going head-to-head in that, because we've seen such a mixed bag in Group D. I would really, really enjoy that.
I look forward to that pregame because I think we're going to have a little bit of a debate in terms of that matchup. Let's roll on and take a quick look back at some of yesterday's amazing #World's big plays. We've got a couple lined up, and our first one comes from Alliance's perfect win over Najin White Shield. And at Adrian's ST50, Adrian Saint 15 tweets, Shook goes in, kicks Sefa onto the Frog and Charm, and the game is over. He shook them all game long. This was your number 3 World's big play.
Safe uses the ultimate, wipes out the wave, catches on towards one. Tabs takes a hit, but that turret is falling fast. Wicked in there. Are they going to go deep? They get Sefa in. The charm is in there. Now he goes down. Froggen gets himself the kill. Safe comes around. Chrono shift on Wicked keeps him safe. And Alliance push on through against Najin Whiteshield's face.
You got a fantastic engage on a sieging turret with Lee Sin. Now, the impressive part to me there is the coordination between Shook and Froggen, that he lands the charm right at the very end of the kick. Kick is a stun, so right as the end, he does not throw the charm before. He doesn't panic. He knows exactly where Triss is going, throws the charm out, chains the CC beautifully, and it's game over.
Yeah, very well played indeed. The next one is also with Shook. He continued his impressive day with a fantastic Dragon Steal. This one comes to us from @AndyM Says. Kick, steal, kill, Shook! This is your number 2 World big play.
Yeah, Safe is running from base here, but so is Froggen. And again, there's Teleport on Wicked. It's going to be focused for.
There it is.
Coming in. Watch the
Teleport right in. Watch, it's going to be focused. Shook gets the spike down. They turn it off towards them. Gorilla's trying to run away. Shook comes in, gets him down. It's another kill for Shook. He's 4-0-1, and they get the Dragon. Everything is once again going Alliance's way.
Yeah, really impressive play right there on actually several different levels. It's rare to see a Lee Sin ult that good. And what happened was when he came in, his kick of Kha'Zix damaged the dragon enough so he could win the smite steal because he was anticipating that damage. He then kicked and knocked up Janna, which delayed Janna's ult, which also prevented the disengage by a few seconds and then allowed Alliance to take even more from that situation. Really, really good ult.
Unbelievable play from Shook. Finally, it was Reckless with the pentakill. And this one comes to us from @JakeJ Walker. He tweets, "Hi, my name is Reckless, and I'm not ready to be knocked out of Worlds just yet. This was your play of the day."
Who's going to be the first target? Ackerman actually dive into the backside, but he's going to be going down quickly. Yellow Star actually focused by Vasily, trying to get the resets. There's the equalizer. They've got to walk back over it. Double kill for Reckless. Can he get any more here? He will get more. And now they're on towards No Name. Are they trying to give a pentakill over to Reckless? They are. There's the Quadra. Can he get himself the pentakill? Cyanide and Picky both closing in. There's the slow. Shaolin Shao goes over the wall. Reckless comes in. He gets the pentakill.
What an impressive game by Reckless. And just even after that, what's even more impressive, after that game, they interviewed Reckless and he said, Fnatic's like family to me. And you can kind of tell after he got that triple kill, they really want to boost his spirits up and give him that pentakill and set it up for him. So just a really great explosive game by Fnatic.
Yeah, really well played indeed. You guys at home can let us know your top moments from each day of Worlds action by tweeting to us at LOL Esports. Use the hashtag Worlds Big Plays. Let's take a look at today's action where we can hopefully get more of those big plays. Right out the gate, we have Brazil's Kabum Esports taking on North America's Cloud9. Then later, Cloud9 will be out for revenge against Korea's Najin White Shield. Final game of the group stages will be China's OMG going up against North America's LMQ, and in the event of tiebreakers, we will play those matches immediately after our 6th game. So for an in-depth look at the star players and rising teams from the World Championship, you can head over to lolesports.com. While there, you can vote on the outcome of every match through the World Finals, as well as find stats, spoiler-free VODs, and much more. We'd then like you guys to go on Twitter and answer a question for us. As we close out the group stages, we want to ask you, which hype train have you boarded for the quarterfinals and why? Whether it's a team, a player, a region, we want to know what train you're on and which one you bought a ticket for. We're all well aware of which train Monte Cristo's on.
No. I'm not on that train anymore, Trevor. There is no hype train. Hype implies that there is something that's overblown about it. No, Korean dominance is just a thing now. It's just a thing.
Oh, it's the fanboy train.
Oh.
There you go.
Probably which train are you boarding for quarterfinals?
I started off early in this group hyping up with NA because they came out of the gates like killing everything, and I'm staying on it. I think LMQ and C9 do have a chance in the group stages right now to make it out.
Crumbs?
I have been on the train in the other part of town long ago. I am on the Samsung White train. You could argue that they had an easy group, but the wins that they had were by far more impressive than all the other ones we've seen here.
Well, we'll see which trains you guys are on. So for your pick for individual or group or player, whoever you think has the biggest momentum heading into quarterfinals, send your answers to us at LOL Esports. We will read some of our favorites later on in the show. We're going to move on to a new section. We've seen 54 unique champions played at the World Championships. So we're going to put a question to the desk. Who would make up your MVP team composition from the Singapore group stage, much like we did for Taipei and Y Crumbs? We're going to start in the top lane and work our way down. Who's your top lane champion?
It has to be Aurelia. She's in fact the most picked top laner in these group stages, and she's having quite a bit of a success. Obviously, Wicked has been playing her exceptionally, and he has a majority of the wins on her, but she just kind of fits this pseudo-tank meta that we're seeing with Maokai and Alistar being banned. Either you pick Lulu and feed, or you pick Aurelia and you carry.
Monte Cristo in the jungle.
Well, I'm going to take Kha'Zix just because he has been like the most picked jungler so far of this tournament. And what's interesting is that every team has picked Kha'Zix at least once. So that says a lot about the champion. His high damage is great, of course. And also, he fills so many roles. He can clean up fights with his wings, his evolved E. He can poke very well with his W. He fits into so many different kinds of strategies.
Definitely a versatile jungler. In the mid lane, I think I'm going to ask Prolly. What champion would you pick?
I'm going to go with a champion that I've forsaken in the past, but I'm going to go with Ahri. I think a lot of the mids in these groups have shown Ahri's like kind of playstyle. She's a safe mid. You can blind pick her, and then she works really well in these kind of pick comps, as well as kind of just the run at 'em comps. So I think she's really versatile and really important.
Double lift for our duo lane. Who's your AD carry and support?
For AD carry, Lucian, probably my favorite AD carry at the moment, and only rivaled in power level probably by Tristana. He has no dip in power like Tristana mid-game, where he's a lane bully. Mid-game, he has insane burst, and then late-game, he actually doesn't fall off and get outscaled that badly. And you can tell the difference between a good Lucian and a really great Lucian like Reckless and Deft just by watching. And then Thresh is probably my pick for support. He's the most picked champion this week. At 13 picks, and he's also the support with the highest kill participation of any support. So that's just really impressive, and he has amazing playmaking ability, which is exactly what you're seeing from all these Thresh players here at Worlds.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, this team composition or champion bundle, you can grab the Singapore group stage MVP team comp in the stores right now. The comp includes the skins that have been used by your favorite Worlds pros, so bundle up and start practicing your own #Worlds Big Plays with this awesome team composition. This is going to bring us quite naturally to our first match of the day as Brazil's Kabum Esports goes up against Cloud9. Kabum has made the most of their Worlds experience, I think. They seem to be in good spirits. They've put up a good show through most of their games. Minerva especially stands out, and he actually said he was happy to be mentioned by the analyst desk and the casters, naming Double Lift for some praise in particular. They are the team that has the chance to play spoiler in this group, because if they take a win off Alliance or Cloud9, it's going to be difficult. Double Lift, what's your take on Kabum in their shots?
And, I mean, now that Kabum has lost their chance of making it out of groups, it's kind of sad, but it's also really scary, because now they have nothing to lose. They've been playing really standard in their previous games, but now they can play with kind of no regard and just kind of ignore risks, make these really aggressive plays.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do. They are up against Cloud9. They're sitting at 2-2. They had 2 good games. They had 2 poor games. Double Lift, I just want to shoot to you really quickly. The Talon and Tristana picks from the last game against Shield for Cloud9, very questionable. What's your take?
Oh, God. Yeah, I really hated that. Talon Tristana to me has absolutely zero synergy. Talon is a champion that wants to fight mid-game, and Triss is a champion that has a dip in mid-game power. So there's really no coordination between those two champions. I really hope Cloud9 picks up their pick and ban phase.
I think the Cloud9 pick and ban phase looked kind of weak, but I don't think that's going to be a case anymore. Lemon does have that nice notebook, and I think he's going to fix everything. And then the game against Kabum is going to be a showcase of what they're going to do later today.
We'll have to see how they handle themselves. We're going to throw things over to the trio of casters to take us into game number 1.
Thank you very much, Quick Shot, and hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lee D-Man Smith, and of course I'm joined by Rivington Bislin III and Martin DeFicio Lunga for the first 3 games of the day.
Exactly, and Kabum, first game of the day. They have Alliance later on as well. If they manage to win one of those games here, they can completely destroy it for either Cloud9 or Alliance.
It's going to be exciting. Showing some love to the crowd with the flag as well. Really paying back respect because the crowd, they've been cheering the whole time, and a lot for Kabum as well.
Yeah, Kabum absolutely enjoyed their time here in Singapore. Had the support of the crowd, of course. Let's get straight in towards those starting lineups. Starting out on the blue side for the Brazilian international wildcard team, Kabum Esports. In the top lane, of course, is Lep. In the jungle is Danagon. Tinones in the mid lane. Minerva has AD carry and Dan's on support.
And that takes us to the red side, and representing there is the North American LCS, Cloud9. In the top lane, it's Balls. Meteos in the jungle, high in the mid lane, Sneaky at AD carry, and Lemonation just taking a sip on support.
Of course, as this game is about to get underway, this is the final day of groups here in Singapore. Literally anything can happen, and judging by yesterday, it absolutely may well do. There's all sorts of different possibilities for tiebreakers, scenarios. It's going to be a great day of League of Legends.
And again, for me, in this group at least, all the focus is on Kabum. Because we expect Alliance to win, we expect Cloud9 to win, but again, if they manage to take the win here, surprise one of these teams, suddenly, tiebreaker again, more and more likely to pop up, and we can be here for a long time.
I mean, the thing is, even looking at this scenario, obviously you'd presume that Cloud9 Alliance would go and beat Kabum, but you know, we've been talking about the Korean dominance. Monty just talked about how Korea are dominating now. They're not taking it lightly. They were here till 2 a.m. practicing last night. These guys are taking these groups deadly serious because they are feeling the pressure, because the European teams have pushed them all the way. North America are biting at the heels. There's a possibility that one of them, you know, if some crazy scenarios happen, could actually go out here in groups.
And the way that comes out now, it's pretty much everybody wanting another team to do work for them. They're trying to win their games and then hope the situation happens in their favor on the other end. We'll just get right into picks and bans now. Kabum's going to be on the blue, as we said. Cloud9 on the red. We'll see that Zed and Alistar right quick on the ban list.
So Zed being banned against Hai, who of course spammed it in Korean solo queue. I believe everyone has seen it. And also a pretty good ban because Tinone's in the mid lane normally prefers these like AoE team fighting champs like Xerath or Yana, and obviously they won't do too well against something like a Zed.
So the last time these guys met, it was Kabum that actually felt they could have taken this game against Cloud9. So Cloud9 have to be super focused coming into this matchup. Of course, the Rumble being taken away from Balls, no surprises there, but it does mean Rise has snuck through. We'll see whether Lep decides to take it in that top lane, of course, because Aurelia was open, or whether it's Tinone's in the mid.
Yeah, and the funny part is, obviously if it is a flex pick for them, I haven't seen any of their players actually play Rise. And if you look at the picks for Lep and Danagon so far, they both played, Lep and Tinones, they both played 4 different champions. So obviously the champion pool here for Kabum, I mean, they have a lot of options, seeing as they also first pick Rise, take it away from Bolts, you ban the Rumble as well. I wonder if it's going to be top lane. I expect it to be top lane for Lep, and then he needs to be careful because he can get camped.
I like the pick here as well. They take away the Rumble and Balls' Rise. He's played Lulu here on the International World stage as his 3rd champion, so it'll be very interesting to see what they lock in for him in the top lane to feel comfortable. Meteos as well has his choice to go for Kha'Zix here if he wants it.
Yeah, I think we will see a Kha'Zix, obviously with that Lee Sin banned out. Danagon, you know, he stepped up yesterday in terms of pressure. He was actually starting to support Lep very well. He was around the map, got that smite steal, of course, as well. So there's a lot of big plays by him. But as we just heard double lift, Lucian, probably one of the strongest AD carries out there right now, has been locked in for Sneaky, and of course Meteos will take that Kha'Zix.
Yeah, and as Doublelift also said, Lucian right now, he doesn't fall off in the mid game like Tristana, who will be probably the 2nd strongest AD carry from what we have seen so far. And it's all about this mid game power spike in Singapore. Every single team, when you have the mid game power spike, it's one of the reasons Rumble has been so strong. You can win the first few Dragon fights, so you can get the goal lead and just snowball the game completely. For Kabum here, the fact Lucian is gone and it's been Minerva's most played champion could be a big issue because he needs it actually to dominate the bottom lane.
Oh man. Speaking with Kabum yesterday, they did say mid-game is kind of where they fall off, so a spike would be fantastic for them to be able to have in that situation. Syndra and Thresh getting locked in.
Good picks right here. Dances look very good on Thresh, a Brazilian crowd. They want to see him make the big plays, of course. He's known for his great skill shots as well on these supports. We saw it on Morgana as well. and Syndra for Tinones. He looked good on Syndra when he played it earlier in this tournament, and it is one of his favorite champions.
Well, Syndra, as you mentioned, been very strong. Hasn't been as prolific as we thought we would be, especially after obviously we saw a lot of it in Taipei. It hasn't been a big choice. It's all been about that Zilean. He's been the focus throughout, whether it's picked or banned so far. Alistair very rarely sneaks through, which is why he's sitting on that ban screen once again. Cloud9 though, support. I think we're going to be possibly leaving that mid lane till last here. I don't think he wants to show his hand just yet.
But this is some very explosive picks already from Kabum. I mean, there's a lot of pick potential here. If Cloud9 starts falling behind or is slacking a little bit in the game, easily Kabum can catch him off guard, and Jinx wasn't banned.
Jinx was not banned. Really excited to see what Minerva can put on that. Or if he switches it up. Anyway, just to give credit to Minerva's laning phase, it has been really good. He's come out on top on some of the really top tier caliber, even Najin White Shield games.
And this is just his, what, 13th game on AD carry?
It's pretty scary, yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I mean, the guy was a mid laner, then he was a support, and now he's an AD carry, and he's performing so well. Same goes for the qualifier in Brazil. He surprised everyone where he just got in there and started dominating.
And he still doesn't have that many games in that position, and he is just attuned to it so quickly. So the Elise gets locked in for Danagorn. We'll see if that pays off for him. A lot of potential to get ganks off in these lanes with the crowd control they provide. So maybe they can take those laning phases to Cloud9 like they like to.
Interesting pick for Balls. Went for that KO. KO's not been very successful here in Singapore. And if you look at his history, he's only played it once throughout the entire summer.
Right.
And he lost.
Yeah.
So this is a risky pick, but Xerath locked in the mid lane for high.
Yeah, so that explains it. We were talking about how Kabum had some very explosive picks here with the Syndra, with the Rise, and Thresh, of course. Instantly, Morgana with the Black Shield and Kayle with her ulti to simply deny the pick potential from Kabum. Now you have a Xerath and a Kha'Zix as well for the long-range poke here.
Yeah.
Cloud9 is really setting up to just start poking down Kabum. You have so much disengage already, and you have, of course, the Kayle ulti to save whoever gets called out.
Siege the turret and burn it down as fast as possible. It's a definite possibility for Cloud9. I'm absolutely certain they won't want a repeat performance of the struggles they had in Game 1.
No, because it was actually a strange game. Also talking with Cloud9, they were not happy even though they won the game, because they knew it was a bad start. Minerva especially was looking great down his bottom lane again, of course, because all Cloud9's focus was on Lep in the top lane, which we have seen a few times. Actually, only the last game he played was the one where he didn't get focused and he didn't even die.
Absolutely. So now, of course, that the champions are locked in, they're going to be heading on to the Rift in just a moment. Who do you guys at home think will take this matchup? Tweet us your hashtags, KBM win or C9 win to @LO Esports, and of course, we'll see which comp you think will come out ahead. This is going to be an interesting one. Will Kabum win the vote? They have done a couple of times, but they're up against Cloud9 now. Cloud9 fans, of course, America will still be awake on the West Coast.
It's going to be an interesting matchup to start it off. Looking at what Kabum kind of does to themselves in the mid game, hopefully they don't just get pulled out. We've seen a lot of times that Minerva will do good, as we say, in the laning phase, and then you'll see him in the mid lane because the team wants to group according to what their opposing team is doing. So hopefully they don't get dictated into a game they don't want to play too early. We are on to the Rift. Kabum on the blue side, Cloud9 on the red, as these teams get a little bit of a rematch.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Day 4 of Singapore, all up in the air. The group stages have been very entertaining over the last 2 weeks. Who will reach the quarterfinals? It is all going to be decided today. Will Kabum cause an upset and force Cloud9 out? If Cloud9 loses game, they are effectively out in the group stage. It is not something they want for sure. It is absolutely a must-win game for them.
Yeah, we see it in the picks as well for Cloud9. Very safe picks here, going for the Siege combo as well, and looking at the picks from Kabum and saying, okay, a lot of pick potential. Let's get the Morgana, let's get the Kayle here, even though Balls normally doesn't play it, but obviously they had a few weeks in Korea to practice, and we've seen a lot of new champions from these teams because that's such a long time to boot camp.
Seeing if he picks up any more potions. Kind of just heads out of lane on that one, doesn't decide to. And everybody beginning to move in for the deep ward. So Dan's going to see that. The pings go out. You still get the safe early game here. This is really going to pay off for Minerva, especially in the bottom lane. Like I said, excited to see that Jinx coming out.
And I want to see if Sneaky actually wants to build a BT as his first item. We have seen it a few times on Lucian when you have like these siege comms where you complete your BT and then you instantly go mid lane and you just start sieging up on towers. And the reason it's so good is simply because you're going to get the shield and the lifesteal, so you can walk into the tower, hit it a few times, take some damage or survive if someone like Syndra is there and stuns you. And then you can always lifesteal on the minions once again, and you obviously don't need any crit when you're hitting a tower.
Kabum starting out on the red buff, as is Meteor, so we'll see whether they both meet down in that bottom lane. You can see in terms of ward coverage, it's all Cloud9 early on. Zero evidence of wards from Kabum down in the lower part, but of course that is the wards from the trinket timing out, and it looks like, as expected, Minerva and Dance will be forced back. Lucian is very tricky in lane, and Lemonation's going to be looking to land those bindings.
Yeah, and it's very good for Cloud9 here. They actually get the standard lanes, because you want to have the Kayle as well up in his top lane to just start pushing down Ryze from the start. Ryze can trade with you, but he cannot push back the minions as fast as you can. So it's going to be all about the jungle press on top.
There's that level 2, a Lightbringer straight through Minerva. The 2 passive shots to him as well, and Lemonation doing it again. Grabs brush control as soon as possible. In that bottom lane, hit still going down. Dance's Ignite is down, but Dance takes an Ignite over from Lemonation, and Sneaky is actually getting the assist on that one. His first blood goes to Lemon.
Yeah, Dance could have flashed right here, but Lemonation was so close to him. He barely even got to see the binding before it hit him, and then he just ends up dying. But Cloud9, early level 2, it's what you can always do here, and just rush it and start fighting.
Yeah, the aggression back and forth did not pay off. They went with that Ignite early. Double warrant, both going down. Kabum and Cloud9 getting their coverage, making sure there's no crossovers. And you know, we talked about these jungle paths. We do see, of course, that Danagorn is nearby. Minerva may well need that assistance down here because he is incredibly low. Dance comes down. And Meteors, he can continue farming now because he wasn't needed down the bottom. They got the kill all on their own.
One of the things he loves to do lately, play a little bit more passive and get himself pretty beefy before he shows himself. One thing we always know is Meteos uses his time very efficiently.
And if every single lane is doing just fine, you don't really have to do anything. Minerva eating another binding down here. Elimination, he's been on point so far.
He is falling heavily behind in CS, and again, that Lightbringer catching on him. And Minerva, he absolutely has to go back now. He can't stick around any longer.
And notice how Danagorn has been sitting down his bottom lane for like the last minute actually, but he couldn't really gank because Minerva was so low. Also slapping Leb a few times in the face. But Danagorn is a jungler who loves to just sit and wait in the lane and like either look for the counter gank or be very patient at least before he goes in. And it often means he falls very far behind on farm, and he's already falling behind the Meteors right here because he was sitting in bottom lane.
Oh, it's going to make it a difficult one if the lanes can't hold themselves up on their own legs just in the beginning here. Only going to get harder and harder. Tinone's looking to be one that's sticking pretty well to high here. 33 to 22 in CS. Still has a bunch of potions to chug on both sides here. So we'll see if Tinone's can get high down and back. Already level up, doing quite well.
Yeah, it's right that you mentioned that because, I mean, that's what's really been one of the winning things for Kabum. What's kept them so close early stages. It's a 3-man push up here. Tinone's is rightfully backing away. They have the coverage on the side, so they know they're safe above. Will continue his CS farming, but I was back to your point. Tell a lie, because Danagorn looks like he's going to try to go top. That's going to be an easy back off from Balls. Just speeds himself up. But back to your point. We'll get there in the end. Kabum actually have done well in lanes. They've managed to hold steady with Najin Whiteshield, with Alliance, with Cloud9 in the previous matches. So to start falling behind this heavily, looking towards the AD carries, of course, even the fact that Balls is starting to get ahead of Lep is a little bit of a worry.
Yeah, in this game I actually would have loved if Kabum decided to lane swap like they did yesterday against Whiteshield, and it actually meant they could keep the laning phase going for a long, long time.
Ooh,
they could
it's
just
a
be
bait.
farming. Let's see what happens here.
They're going to go in. Dance is there. They weren't ready, but he managed to jump straight on towards some choppers. Gets hooked in. There's no follow-on, though. Minerva can't go through. And Cloud9 denied a kill there. I think they absolutely would have got it without those chompers.
They managed to force a flash from Dance, and then some return damage onto Meteors here, and we actually just saw the voting beforehand.
Yeah.
Kabum lost. Probably the first time I've actually seen them lose the voting.
I did say the West Coast is still awake, and North American fans
Come on, Kabum fam.
get in behind them
Get on
because
Twitter.
they absolutely know that Cloud9 need to win this one. Don't worry, everyone here, I think,
crowd
the crowd
behind
is
them.
very much behind Kabum.
Well, right now,
Sadly for them.
pressure is difficult, D-Man. Wards so deep in the side of Kabum's jungle. That's where we see Meteos and crew so happy and eager to get inside and cause trouble for Danagorn. Now the wave freeze here coming in as much as they can to make it that much harder here for Minerva in the laning phase.
Danagorn once again looking towards this top lane, so the bottom lane being ignored by him, even though they are falling very far behind. Let's see if they can get onto Bolt here. Rune Prism from left, and it's good to go.
It's going to be very hard. He's got the flash up. He's got himself intervention available.
Here we go.
He's going to have to burn anything. It's just going to walk on through. Now he may need to burn intervention. No, flash comes out. There's the intervention. Gets home free.
But the idea was actually really good from Danagorn right here, because he was delaying his cocoon. He wanted balls to flash first, and then he could try and land the cocoon. But just missed it. It was, of course, nerfed a little bit. A bit smaller.
That's smaller range, indeed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Sneaky taking 2 tower hits there. Dan's almost catching him with that death sentence as well.
Feeling quite sure of himself, diving past the turret with a bit of safety of Elimination Shield, hopefully defying those hooks to come out. And Minerva doing what he can in the bottom lane. Everybody does what they can right now. Tinones could really strike up something in the mid game. That part where we have seen Kabum fall off, bring that out with Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, finally playing his favorite champion again. We've seen it on it once, and he actually looked really good in this game as well. Winning the lane in terms of farm early on, and we have seen the jungle pressure from Danagorn. It was top lane, it was bottom lane, so it wasn't because of Danagorn he's doing well. It's just purely one-on-one in here.
This is the problem, though, that the fact that when your top and bottom lane are falling behind, Danagorn's being pulled for either direction, both screaming for his help, because you can see it's almost a double CS differential between Minerva and Sneaky now. Sneaky really dominating that lane with the help of Elimination.
Yeah, he needs to put his focus on his bottom lane, because you cannot have a Jinx falling so far behind. Cloud9 can take this Lucian into the mid game, and Minerva will have to wait like 20-25 minutes before he can even join the fight. So Danagorn, he needs to come down here, try and set up a kill. The Black Shield from Elimination is going to be pretty annoying though, when you have Cocoon and Hook.
You see the little things that Dan's is doing here from Minerva, grabbing the minion wave and taking it away from the turret, defying Sneaky, that easy aggro under the turret right here. Make sure you ward that brush before you walk any farther though. Setting up camp and a nice dark passage to get him to safety on that one. It was looking real dark there, but they get out.
Managed to get out. No lane ward actually from Dante or Minerva. He's the guy sitting with the trinket ward.
It's because they've had to switch. They've switched to sweeping lenses so quickly that, like you say, there's no trinket from Minerva. He could have put it down there, but I think he wanted to get it in the river. They're so worried about Meteos' movements across the map.
Yeah, it is very normal when you go back and get your side stone, you then swap to sweeping lane as a support. And look here on Minerva. He has a special little build on Jinx where he actually rushes Ghost Blade. And it seems like he's going towards it. I mean, that's going to be a brutalizer probably with the longswords. That's the first item.
See how it works out for him. Top lane, of course, we do see balls going early Berserker Greaves with those double rings. So making sure he gets a bit of that movement, a little bit careful, of course, did use that flash early on. There's the culling going down on Minerva. The entire chunk going down, forced out the summoner heal just towards the end to make sure there was no proc of damage. Meanwhile, he's caught out by a stun.
Oh, no ulti to follow through though. Blue buff is just going to allow him to keep that pressure on, and then he'll throw it out. Meteos letting down the pinks, or using the pinks that have already been laid down to start clearing out. 95 to 83 in that lane still.
And you can start seeing the difference. This is where the pressure, Danagorn is being pulled from every direction. He's falling behind Meteos right now in terms of farm. Meteos is quite happy. He can just keep on clearing that jungle as quick as he needs to, because the lanes, simply put, don't need him. He's just supplying the vision coverage that's required from him, but that is it.
It's just the worst situation as a jungler. You're like, okay, top lane is calling for help, bottom lane is calling for help, and you know it's so hard for you to even set up the ganks. We saw Balls up in the top lane. He had ulti, he had flash the first time. Danagorn could have returned to top lane after he forced the flash, but decided then to look bottom lane, and obviously that's just been a losing battle for Kabum so far.
It's interesting we see the CS differential between Tinones and High, because this is obviously the exact reversal of what High had against Froggen, and obviously everyone was talking about how Froggen was falling behind in lane. Well, it's kind of the matchup. Syndra is out farming Xerath, it's simply put.
And we always knew High in the North American LCS to kind of be somebody that didn't prioritize farm in lane. He'd be okay with doing super safe and then come out big for the team later. So maybe he's kind of playing that role once again.
Well, Xerath is a pretty safe laner. You have very long range to sit and farm, and you can simply avoid Tinones to ever get onto you, ever land a stun onto you, and be able to burst you down. Top lane though, Balls once again trading with Lep.
Great damage coming in from Lep here. Really using that catalyst to stay up in health, keep himself healthy per level. It's really helping to keep him up against Balls, and now pushing him into his own turret.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of farm up here, going towards the Rod of Ages early on, as we always see on Rise, simply to get it stacking, get past your mid-game point where you're stacking up your tier and your Rod of Ages.
Oh, Cloud9 starting out the Dragon. Meanwhile, the top laners are being kept busy. Balls has to use that intervention early, but it is going to be Cloud9 and look to be securing their first Dragon of the game.
So this Dragon by Cloud9 was actually set up simply because Tinones went back to base, and Hai was still standing in the lane, and he saw him back, and they're like, okay, he's back in base, we can be 4 people starting Dragon, let's do it.
Teamwork OP, clearing wards together. Looks like they'll make it out safely. A nice ward in the Death Brush lets Tinones know he can't venture too far in. You see his first buy after that Chalice being a needlessly large rod. He really wants to make an impact here.
So you were talking about the Ghostblade obviously being built up by Minerva, but it's one thing to get to that first item and maybe it works out well, but if your lane partner against Sneaky and he's going to have that Infinity Edge completed first, it's kind of defeating the purpose.
Yeah, I feel like the Ghostblade, for him at least, is simply going to be because they have the single target burst of Rise and Syndra. We can talk about it later. No, Danagon decides to actually not go for the game because of Black Shield. But I feel like so the Ghostblade is simply going to be because Kabum wants to have like these 5-6 seconds the start of the fight, but they just want to have as much burst as possible. So you pop the Ghostblade, try and kill the first target, get your reset, and then keep chasing. I'm still not sure it's the best idea. Infinity Edge definitely seems to be the preferred option for most of the Jinx players.
So an answer from Hai with that needlessly large rod. Tinones, well thought out. Gets the rotation up top as Hai goes back to clear out the pink wards and start moving some of their wards forward as well. Dandagorn has had this Sightstone for a while and it's only getting placed in their jungle. Now we see them start to venture their way into Cloud9's side. Now knowing where Meteos is, he hasn't been able to create too much. Like we said, his lanes were doing good, but maybe they can start to cut him down a bit before he does get going as well.
Well, Lep's been unaffected by any pressure. Oh, Elimination got out. Good Black Shield comes out. Dark Binding lands and he just strolls on out of there. 3v1, no problem.
Yeah, you need to hit those. I'm not even sure the Black Shield was up in time there. They just actually missed the stun and the hook, and you have to land them if you want to get the picks with this comp Kabum is using. Cloud9 though, because they killed this bottom lane tower, they can instantly just swap top. Kabum is not ready. Or they are actually. Danagon and Dance are here.
They're completely ready. They're going in top. Gonna catch on, Soul Shackles, is it gonna land? It's not, Dance is in trouble though. Meteos is there, flash through, almost missed out, took tower hits. They're trying to gift it across instead, Meteos will finish it off. But in comes Tinones, the delay, and the flash already used by Meteos there, cost him his life. Hai, the Chomper's gonna stop him catching on towards Minerva. Sneaky returns back to that top lane. Lep has to be backing away from this one. He's got the support of Tinones, but he's taken so low, they still may be able to dive him.
Very, very close. The artillery coming in from Hai.
Nope.
Fire a cork back just on the tail end of the damage there. Getting aggressive here in the top lane. It's still 2-1 in kills, but they're not going to stop. Scout of the Week trying to come out from Tinones as he grabs a double buff off of that. And they are able to push back Cloud9 a bit. Save that top turret, but they're down still from that first Dragon in the laning phase so far.
So as Kabum actually saw Elimination move towards the top lane, they started sending Danagon and Dance up there, and Tinones was ready to move from the mid lane. As soon as the dive happened, Meteos with the flash, seemed a bit weird, flashing actually behind Dance, and then suddenly Tinones is there. He has a lot of farm, he now picked up a kill. He's going to be very strong on this Syndra here.
Absolutely going to be a problem, and we were talking about obviously rises throughout this tournament. Lep has been unaffected in that top lane, got that Rod of Ages completed, Tier's been stacking out nicely, just building up towards that power spike.
He was farming well yesterday on Aurelia as well. As long as he doesn't get camped by the enemy jungler, he's actually doing fine on getting all the farm he needs, getting towards the late game points of something like a Rise.
Powerful, very slow. If Cloud9 figures that something's getting too strong too fast, they will definitely clamp down on that. So you got to stay in the shadows to get bigger here. So far, Lep's doing that. Tinones showing himself somewhat. Dance trying to clear out a little too much in the ward. Elimination get caught here. Can Lep put down the Rune Prison and get a flash out of him? Great fade away Dark Binding coming in on Dandagorn. They decide not to engage any further.
Balls was so close to finishing that one off. Just lost the vision of Dance when he went in towards that bush. Tinones takes a blast from Hai. Starting to take control of this lane, but as you mentioned, Tinones is starting to get stronger. Got that first kill in there. Picked up that needlessly large rod a while back, so he's going to be sitting on a chunk of gold, but this is a problem. Sneaky is starting to run a little bit wild on Minerva in this bottom lane.
He's got his own army here in the bot lane. Meteos is just kind of watching from the side. Lep getting hit up. Danagorn again in the pocket of Lep. Every time they force off, Cloud9 is taking little bits. They know not to go too far because Kabum will engage. Choppers go down and not going to lock that one. Still, I don't know if they know Meteos is here, and High is actually edging down as well.
Yeah, all the wards in this jungle is from Cloud9,
Right.
so they can see Kabum. At least there was actually one ward here, so they probably did spot him before and
Good zap.
zapped him in the bot as well. Spot him and force him away. It's still about this bottom lane. I mean, every time Sneaky decides to just push up, he's so much stronger than Minerva at this point, and he can just always get some tower damage.
Elimination clearing the way, the vision that Kabum had in the river, which will open things up for potential movements on the mid tower, but as of yet, they're happy to just keep sticking this one out, farming it through. Lep untouched once again. Balls is taking away the wolves, the golem, sorry, in the top lane and will protect his tower. Tinones finds elimination, that will get cleared. That pink ward has been in that bush in the mid lane for a very long time, untouched.
And speaking of that, about that mid lane still, Tinones first buy comes in with that Deathfire grasp.
Yeah, actually had their... He was building towards the Athenes first, but because he got so much gold, when he could actually go back, he could get the last shot, and then he picked up a kill as well. Dance, you might be in trouble. Nope.
Good time to stay safe. Dragon is now alive right here. Good item spikes at least. Coming in for Tinones. The Rod of Ages is still stacking up. They're going to be backing on this one though. There's a bit of a rocket. Not going to do too much. They'll know though what's going down. Dragon goes down once again for Cloud9.
Still, we have to look at Tinones with this early DFG for him. Simply because he got the kill and got so much farm in lane, and he knows he needs to get kills early on here, otherwise Cloud9 can just keep pushing every single lane.
There's the
probably this
power.
top lane. It's looking stronger and stronger. He's going to get the tower.
Yeah, that's a trade that Balls didn't even get close to winning this time around, and you can see he's starting to actually have problems up against Lep now. Lep becoming stronger and stronger. That tower will go down. First one of the game for Kabum, and that's going to free up Lep. We'll see where he goes from here. The biggest problem is that Sneaky has kind of gone unchecked for the majority of this game.
Yeah, but Kabum still, they have so much damage on their team already. If they do decide to group up, they can instant kill the members of Cloud9. Every single one. As long as Balls isn't there with the ulti, someone from Cloud9 will die. And that can be the trick for Kabum if they want to stop this laning phase where they are going to lose this bottom lane tower and just start looking for teamfights, looking for picks.
And that's where Kabum said they have been a bit weak, you know, as they said themselves. This is where they need to take some chances. See Lep already getting himself in. Great deep wards. Nothing Balls can do about it. So they're really using their time efficiently here to get what they need.
It's a 3v2 push in the bottom lane. Tinones is coming around, but he will be spotted out by wards, which is why we see Cloud9 immediately step away a little bit. Got to be careful.
Yeah.
Try and catch him out around the side, but Tinones really can't leave that mid lane. They may try and set up something on high though. You can see Danagorn is ready and waiting to go. Can he land that cocoon? No. Nothing thrown out whatsoever.
Finding.
Nope, not going to go through that black shield.
Meteos again, just sitting down this bottom lane because Cloud9 is constantly pushing it up and because they have the wards in the jungle of Kabum. Meteos is just sitting ready, waiting for Kabum to make a move there and then instantly counter gank it, pick up the kills, take the tower as well and just push it in. Because they know it's all about sneaky and elimination down here.
I'd love if we had a counter on top of wards these days because that pink ward in that mid lane has been there for so long. They've cleared so many wards. Kabum keep putting a standard ward on top and then it's cleared away again because it's being defended by high every single time. Top lane brawl is continuing. Lep is continuing to push Balls back. They're trying to get towards that tower, but I think he may well be better served getting involved with his team because they are slowly losing this battle down the bottom to Cloud9.
Yeah, they need to have some wards actually behind Cloud9 when they are pushing down this bottom lane so Lep can teleport in, flank around them, and then start the fight. Get an easy kill. If Elimination puts the black shield onto Sneaky, well, kill Elimination then. Simple as it is.
Well, they definitely have the double sight stone to keep warding as much as Cloud9 is. Replicating those wards isn't going to hurt. They're keeping the same vision, and they're keeping themselves at least in a bit of defense. Still long-range poke, we said, is going to come from Cloud9, and that's what they're utilizing right now.
Oh,
A
nice.
quick repel, that's going to be the teleport coming in from Lep. Will they decide to initiate? The box is really disengaging Cloud9, but like we said, they're able to stay on the outside. Balls goes down immediately on that one. The intervention is down as well. Do they have a chance to follow up on this? Looks like they'll take it, and they'll leave it.
And look at that burst here from Tinons on Syndra. As soon as the ulti from Balls was gone, blowing him up instantly. And Lep sadly couldn't actually teleport in behind. He had to join the team in the middle of the fight, so no flank from him.
Didn't get around, but it does mean Cloud9 take themselves the second turret of the game, but a little bit of a warning sign for Cloud9 there. If you get out of position, don't have full coverage, you will get burst down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a messy fight at first here. I mean, Cloud9, they want to obviously poke from range, get Danagon really low. It was a good binding from elimination at first, but then the real fight starts. Balls teleporting in the middle of Kabum, and as soon as his ulti is gone, well, you're dead.
Overall, a great box from Dan's there. The team was like, sorry, Balls, you're on your own, buddy. 2 minutes coming up onto Dragon. We'll see if we can get Kabum to get those forward wards out. Most of them are going down to their own jungle now, except for what Lep has done on the top side. Again, that pink ward able to clear out another one.
No flash.
Pretty sticky position here. He's going to try to walk around the choppers. He says heal. Thank you very much. He's still taking good damage from Minerva. He's going to get out with half health on this one, just due to that level difference. He wasn't taking that much damage.
Finally got the pink ward down. But High nearly lost his life defending it there. That was a very close and good chompers that forced him to run around. It has put Cloud9 in a sticky situation off the side here. The stun goes down. Meteor's caught out in it. Lemonation in trouble. The rocket's coming through. Repels away. Danagon trying to give chase. Lemonation getting away. This has given up the top tower to Balls. They do finally get the kill on the support, but to lose a tower and potentially the mid as well, because Sneaky is still pushing. They could lose everything here.
Yeah, so the plan for Kabum was to start grouping, look for these picks here. They got Elimination really, really low, and then ended up chasing him. Will give up this mid tower as well. Oh, you died as well.
Danagorn indeed. It crumbled up on that one. Cloud9 starting to gain a little bit too strong of a foothold.
Yeah, as soon as Lep left the top lane here, Balls like, okay, I'm just gonna go take the tower, my team can handle himself. You don't really mind sacrificing your support if you get 2 towers for it.
Absolutely not. Danagorn, though, himself wasn't quite expecting the burst that came out there. We haven't really seen Meteors getting too involved, but let's not forget, he's built up a fair chunk of damage as he's been farming away quite happily. Dragon's up in 20 seconds time. Cloud9 once again in perfect position for it. Check in, no wards. There's not really been any wards in that entire river area from Kabum for the majority of this game.
It's been a problem for Kabum in pretty much all the games. Like, they are falling very far behind in terms of warding. We don't see as many pink wards because they don't get the same amount of gold as the other teams because they lose a lot of the objectives, they will lose the dragon. So it becomes really hard to keep the wards up.
And it might be an in their own head thing, knowing that they're weaker at this part of the game and they don't want a dragon, but it only starts to hurt them more when they believe they're staying safe. 3 of 3 dragons now going over to Cloud9 with an 8,000 gold lead. Those items are being finished up on the side of Kabum, but they're not getting in the fray to use them.
It's strange that it is something we see and we have seen throughout the year. That step up in skill level tends to be hitting the vision control.
Yeah.
It's like the lower teams don't generally think of it or don't pursue it so heavily. They focus on the lanes, the kills, maybe getting an objective after you're lucky, rather than setting up 2, 3, 4 levels, maybe 3 minutes in advance, which you do see sometimes, obviously, these Korean teams and obviously the Western world teams we've seen a couple of times throughout the world starting to think way ahead of the situation that's currently being played out.
It is just so important that you can pre-plan your own moves, because it's how you catch the other team out of position. It's how you surprise them, and suddenly, even though you're behind, you get the one pick you need because you had the wards placed around the Baron already, and that's how you get back in the game. I mean, just look at Najee and White Shield against Alliance, game 1. Alliance 7-0 in kills, and yet White Shield dominated the map in terms of wards, got all the picks they needed, got back in the game. For Kabum, they need to really learn where to ward and when to buy the wards. Even if you are behind, you need them to get back in the game.
Tinons now with that Void Staff, he could definitely zero somebody out, but now Ball's bringing in the Zanyas, so he can easily focus intervention onto somebody else. It's got to be the right pick at the right time here for Tinons.
Well, we do see, of course, Tinons has the power to pick someone off. We'll see if he can land it. The stun on high is not followed through. because he was dodging the stun.
Oh, look at Lep here.
I threw out Cocoon, blocked out, they're going to go in. Lep can get in there, he's got the power, there's the stun. Elimination blown apart, the rocket doesn't quite down Sneaky, but Cloud9, they have to back away from this tower, they have to respect the power Kabum have.
And this is where Minerva can start going off. Gonna get these resets now. They're gonna be able to start taking down turrets pretty quick. They have an efficient team to do so. Good wave clear and good ability to stay up. Sneaky going down. He got that one high. Gets locked up by Dance making the plays. Kabum comes up with 3, and they're gonna be taking the mid turret as well, possibly. Meteo's doing what he can on the side. They're gonna say, we don't need minions. This one's going down too.
They've got another wave coming through. They could just keep going if they want it. There's a long death time. It's still 13, 20 seconds on the 2 carries. No, we're going to see Lep teleport away because Balls was trying to sneak in that back. He was trying to push that wave down the bottom, but now he's being clapped upon. He's going to get caught out. The Cocoon not quite landing. Doesn't fancy Balls taking one-on-one there. Danagorn repels away. Nope, don't want none of that.
This is the Cocoon here, but wow, Kabum, once they group up here, they have so much damage and insane pick potential. And Cloud9 not respecting it here, just get caught out of position. Kabum instantly responds, kill them, gets 2 towers. Suddenly, goal lead is only 5k.
5k. And
I say only 5k, it's still a bit.
They're creeping back on that. We've seen many games sway from 5k and just go the other way instantly.
But that is something that's going to now be in the back of Cloud9's mind. It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Couple of flashes, couple of catches, 2 carries go down, 2 turrets mid gone. Yeah, if that happens again, they're in the base on the Nexus turrets.
Yeah, and that's a problem for Cloud9 when they're using Balls as a split pusher. Because he's the guy with the ulti to save them, especially from Tinones. But if he's down split pushing, he won't be there. He won't be there to help them. Kabum at the moment can have Lep just stand against Balls one-on-one once he gets his teleport ready again. And he should be able to hold the waves. And then it's a 4 versus 4 where Tinones is really, really looking scary.
We talked about Dan's trying to make those plays as well. Caught out with the dart binding this time. And then another stun. He's going to get focused. The stun on Sneaky. Not going to get backed up. What I was about to say is Dan's was the man that hooked high. He was the man that led that all the way going through. Of course, Tinones' flash stun was pretty impressive as well.
A lot of aggression. Saying Kabum, they need to get themselves into the fight, and they did not hesitate to do so. Oh, Danagorn on the outside, stun one after the other. Ball's getting himself in for a few hits. Not enough to cancel him out, though, but enough to gain pressure. Enough to continue moving forward. Dragon's coming up in another 30. They're actually setting and focusing towards this top side here to make sure they get everything they want.
Well, basically Cloud9 has just full control of this Baron area here. They have all the pink work in there, so they can just wait for Kabum to come in and face check and use the poke. Even the rocket to check the Baron from Minerva right here. And unless Kabum can get in and actually clear these pink wards and take control of the Baron themselves, then Cloud9 can stay, because at some point they can always start the Baron, and then Kabum has to go in and check.
Now with that rocket down, lacking and need to keep their eye on it. We keep seeing Dance. He keeps tossing that lantern around that corner to try and sneak in. He's going to be able to. He's going to get in that
the
pick.
ward in.
Cloud9 have left him off the side. He's got to get in and get out. He's got the ward. Now they're going to turn focus on him. He's going to run away. Balls is going to catch and slow. He just gets out of vision. Nice ulti usage. Will it be enough to get him away? I don't think it is. Dance has no flash available. He's going to get locked down. The rest of Kabum, though, are closing the gap on him here. I'm not sure if they can make a pick in time.
Oh, Dan's right here. He just had to place a ward. When there's a ping ward on Baron, if it's inside the Baron pit, you place your green ward just outside it, and a ping ward can actually spot it. You just place the ward and then back the way here. Force Cloud9 to go back, use a sweeper, and then maybe try and do it again. Don't be greedy and kill the ward, because then they will chase you.
Cloud9 being a bunch of bullies now, forcing Kabum into these fights, one after the other, saying, we'll just sit here until you wander into where we have more power.
They've not punished them for it, though. Danzy's going to be back up. All they've done is gone in.
That's true.
Killed a ward, missed the actual ward on Baron, which you can see Kabum just pinged and said, we can see it now. That's our job done. Dan's work here was complete. Danagorn gets a cheeky spot. I don't think they're going to be able to get the steal on this one. Rocket's not going to be fired this time from Minerva. They're going to hold on to that one. And that bottom turret is also pressured by minions, so that may be close to falling. I haven't seen the hit points on it. I think it's going to get cleared. Sneaky will wipe the wave out. Yeah, it's very close. No. 12 hit points left. Damn it, Sneaky.
Oh, so close. So Sneaky on items. Infinity Edge, Ghost Blade for himself, matched up with what Minerva has right now. 264 to 215 in that laning phase, but they come out. Items across the board and pink wards as well for Kabum.
Lots of pink wards. You have a side stone as well on Danagon here, so Kabum actually want to set up around maybe the Baron pit and wait for Cloud9 to come and face check them. When you have Syndra, when you have also a champion like Ari, you need to have the vision control and use it to get picks because you force the enemy team to come in and face check you to try and clear the walls.
Kabum itemizing so much better as well. The Aegis is out there. Do they use the Mikhail here to get Dan's for himself? But he doesn't.
Well, he's down for 30 seconds. One of those pink wards has been cleared. That was Danz's that's gone down.
Yep.
Again, he was the man that was caught out eating them bindings. We'll see whether Cloud9 make it count. Gone solo as well. He was caught in the crossfire a moment ago. They're going to have to turn away from this one. Cloud9 are going to push them off this one. The jumpers go down, but the Black Shield prevents them going on towards high. Cloud9 disengage, but they have full control over that river area now.
That was a great flash actually by High because he forced 2 members of the Kabum to flash away. Otherwise, one of them would have been hit and would have died here. Rocket going in, by elimination, and the rest of Kabum joining.
Good hands catching the rocket. Zaps missed as well. Just about 33 minutes on the clock. Baron gonna go over to Cloud9 right now. Lep, he throws down the ulti, but he gets slowed as well. Not gonna be able to return any damage on this. It's all in defense. The Rune Prison will be up. Pops that down. They do get the ultimate intervention out of balls. They turn back onto him. That's a miss. Hook coming in from Dan. Zanya's as well. So they have time to refocus. Minerva getting a reset. Are they able to come up big on this fight? The Zap actually hitting the backside of Sneaky, so they have vision on the far backside of Cloud9 right now, but Cloud9 is pushing forward. Ultimate coming in from High. A good dodge from Tinones. The cleanup coming from Sneaky as he takes the ult from Tinones as well. And that starts to fall in Cloud9's favor.
So Cloud9, not only do they get the Baron here, they chase up, get a few kills. The ulti from Balls was used very, very early, so he actually ended up dying because he used it on Meteors. The rest of Cloud9, however, it can just join in. And High at the moment, racking up the kills.
Will they keep pushing? They've got 30 seconds on the death timers. They've got a minion wave with them with the cannon, so they may well do. Lep's going to have to disengage from this one. This could be the first inhibitor turret going down for Cloud9. They worked it well. They're going to keep on pushing for that inhibitor. People are starting to respawn though, so they've got to get this and get out. Bottom wave will be cleared away. Lep's going to blow that one with his ultimate. And Kabum are now down 1 inhibitor in their base.
Let's just see it
one more time.
So Lep actually runs in, but he's too late. The Baron is already dead, and Kabum don't really want to fight, so he's supposed to just try and run away. Rejoins here, his team comes in. Actually, very nice flash cocoon from Danagon onto Balls. And ulti's already gone. Hourglass gone as well. Picked up an easy kill for him.
That Zonya's basically delayed a lot of the damage, though. Meteos would have almost certainly popped straight afterwards if they had not have delayed that kill. So it worked well, good itemization, but another great ulti from High picking off Sneaky. Look how low he went though, just a quick bit of burst. That was a Baron up Cloud9. There's still a lot of burst potential on that Kabum side today. Even the next play, despite the super minions pushing in the top lane, has to be well thought out.
Yeah, you really have to respect Tinones in this game here if you're Cloud9, but I love the way High used his ulti. The best way to always use the Zero Fold is if you basically force the enemy team to keep running in a straight line. If they ever stop, your team will catch up and kill them. So they have one choice, keep running and hope they don't actually die.
Give them spots where they can't run. Make them go backwards. I like it. 8-7, 35 minutes on the clock. Now it's getting over 10,000 gold leads. It's 59,000 to 47. Cloud9 doesn't have to worry about the big worm on the top side of the map, so we can hover here on the bottom for quite a while. They're going to try to push into the inhibitor turrets once more. They already have the top side cleared, so that's going to cause Kabum to focus that as well.
They're delayed, but Tinones is not with them. He's busy getting blue buff, which has given Cloud9 a massive opening, taking his tower down. Without that massive range stun, they were easily walking in. They fancy defending his turret though. High taking a bit of chunk there. Lep trying to get that burst down, but Sneaky and Balls continuing. The rocket lands on them. They may well chase this one. They're going to push out. Oh, the hook so close to landing.
Going in.
Dan goes in, lands the flavor, will pay the price with his life. And now Cloud9 can turn and push back onto Kabum.
Just flashing in, throws back the lance, and nobody is actually going to click. They're like, nope, you're on your own, mate. And ends up dying next to turrets as well. Cloud9, they want to finish.
This really coming off of Tinone's being on blue. They had a ward to see he was up there, and that's why Cloud9 being so fearless as they enter the base. Now coming up on 36 minutes, they are getting pushed off a bit here. Kabum looking to go for broke, but they get locked up. Left gets hit by a dark binding. A few more shots coming in. Focus onto the Nexus, and it is going to be Cloud9 coming up with the victory over Kabum.
So it was far from a clean victory for Cloud9.
Very true.
But it's a win nonetheless. Najim Whiteshield now is in their focus. They've got the slippery game out the way in terms of banana skins. Now it's time to really do your homework and prepare for that match, which will be happening later on today. It was a risky game, though. They showed, once again, Kabum. They had the burst. They caught them out in that mid lane, and they pushed and took them 2 towers.
And once again, we saw the tactic against Kabum was actually for these teams to play extremely safe, stick to a laning phase as long as possible, keep split pushing, spread Kabum out, don't let them group as a team. Because what they did in Brazil, when they qualified for Worlds as well, was their teamwork together. Like the 5 versus 5 team fights were extremely scary. The comms they build around it. When you have a Jinx from Minerva in these team fights and you have so much burst damage, get the first kill, you get your reset, and you just keep chasing up here. So Cloud9 basically said, we're going to spread out the map, and once we feel like we can set up a Baron, loads of pink wards, we're just going to look for this one pick. Once we get it, we take the Baron, and we go for the game.
Working on being dictated in the mid game is just all Kabum has to get out of their system. Understanding what to do then, and literally they will be a team to be reckoned with across the board. We see the laning phase, even when they're having trouble in it, they come out very strong. And it's just the coordination of the teams that really can get under their skin.
Yeah, Cloud9's position, they are 3-2 in the table now, tied with Alliance, who, of course, Alliance will be playing Kabum in just 2 games' time. It's a lot of pressure in this group on really all the teams. You know, obviously the first game we were looking at it, Alliance losing to Cloud9. Oh, everything was blown open, but it is all back on the cards. And now with Alliance taking down Najim Whiteshield yesterday, there's a lot of pressure on those guys. That game's going to feel good to get out the way. While it was a little bit tricky, it is a win nonetheless. And they're going to be very confident in the fact that they can go into the next game and know that their fate is very much in their own hands rather than having to rely on others like Fnatic will, of course. Fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Great game to start the day off. Now, though, let's go over towards the analyst desk to take us through Cloud9's win.
Thank you very much, D-Man. And not exactly the most convincing of wins from Cloud9. A few missteps, a few misplays. We saw the Kale coming out as well. Interesting pick. Monte Cristo, what was your take on balls and the picks and bans?
Okay, well, coming into this game, we talked a little bit about Cloud9's picks and bans, which are normally quite good, which is, I don't remember the last time I was actually questioning Cloud9's pick and ban phase, but at Worlds, it's been a little bit rocky. And just the draft in general, they had an opportunity to take Syndra in their first round, and then it kind of fell off. And the Kale pick was really quite bad in this team composition, because if you're trying to set up for some sort of like poke composition, Kale just doesn't do anything at all. There's no one really that should be protected by Kale. If they're already on your back line, you're going to lose the fight regardless. So if you're going to take the Kale in the top lane, I would have said take Talon in mid lane. If you're going to take the Xerath in the mid lane, I would have said take Lulu or Mundo up in the top lane. Just build some more synergy with the poke, be able to have a tank or another long-range poke champion in there. And Mundo does really well against Ryze and lane. Just bizarre picks.
Yeah, definitely. If they wanted to go with the Kale, I agree with the Assassin mid or something that goes in mid. Because the Kale works very well against Syndra. It basically stops either Syndra ult or it stalls Syndra from ulting. She can't just do it when she wants. So picking a Talon or like, they didn't have anything to set up Yasuo, but something where it's like an assassin, you know, high engaged champ, that sounds like a champ they should have picked.
Right, and Kale, if you just watch that game, Kale didn't do anything. Balls went in, teleported in, ulted himself, and then died, like every time.
I would have liked to see a Mundo, honestly.
Yeah, the Mundo would have been great.
Seen Mundo in this stage, And I don't know why. The previous stage in Taiwan was all over this champion.
Freddy's Mundo in particular was incredible.
He was doing excellently, and especially against a triple AP comp. We know Ballas plays as champion. Like, this is a really strong pick. And in the poke comp, cleavers are pretty deadly.
Maybe they're just having a little bit of fun with their team comp, experimenting, showing some cards. Just very quickly, Sneaky looked pretty solid in the laning phase with that Lucian. Care to comment on his play?
Yeah, that was a really rough matchup for Kabum. When you're playing Jinx, who has actually no ability at level 1, rockets don't really count. Rockets are an auto attack. You don't want to get pushed in. If you get pushed in, then you're essentially just down an ability in the level 1 or level 2 all-in, which is exactly what Sneaky and Lemon did. And he just didn't really seem to understand how to lose lane gracefully. He took too much damage before he ended up getting those nukes like Zap and Traps. So just misplay by Minerva and Dance.
Well, a lot of pressure on Cloud9's shoulders. They're going to be looking at the other teams in their group and watching the results of Alliance. We're actually going to throw over to Shox right now, and she's standing by with one of the winners from the game.
Thank you very much, guys. Amity joined by Cloud9's High after that win over Kabum. High, in theory, this should have been maybe a faster game for you guys, but Kabum put up a good fight, so what kind of went wrong for you?
Well, I think our team played a little bit greedily. We had a huge advantage, but everyone just wanted to keep doing their own thing instead of grouping or working as a unit. And that caught us off one time really bad where we lost 2 turrets, got like 3 kills and all that. So we just weren't playing collectively as a team, and that kind of hurt us for a bit.
Well, in theory also, this should have been a good warm-up game for the game that is coming later versus Najin Shield. It's so important. So how does that change your attitude going into that?
Well, our next game is going to be much harder, and if we play the same way, we'll probably lose. So we have to pick up our game really bad and get our butts into shape, basically. We have to play our hardest next game and our best for us to be able to win.
Yeah, well, looking forward to that. Thank you very much and good luck. Right, we're going to step away for just a moment, but when we come back, North America's LMQ takes the stage for a second chance against Korea's Samsung Blue. Don't go anywhere.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't really want to go home, so let's not lose to these guys.
Have an efficient team to do so. Good wave clear and good ability to stay. Oh, Sneaky going down. He got caught out. High gets locked up by Dance making the plays. So they have vision on the far back side of Cloud9 right now, but Cloud9 is pushing forward. Ultimate coming in from High. A good dodge from Tinone.
They may well chase this one. They're going to push out. Oh, the hook so close to the landing. Dance goes in. Lands the flavor, will pay the price with his life.